Josh, are the Marvel movies actually sucking right now?
You've got to do better.
I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.
Welcome to Feeling Grounded with your hosts, Josh and Joe.
So what we want you all to do right now is subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast, like this video, share this video to any person that you think might enjoy this content. Also, follow us at Feeling Grounded Podcast on Instagram. That's at Feeling Grounded Podcast. Also, on Patreon, for $3 a month, you guys can enjoy content that Josh and I genuinely enjoy, love to put out there.
And guys, leave a question in the comments. Put some comments below the videos. We want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for us, type it down below, okay?
Entertainment. Where's the entertainment, guys?
All right, so what we talked about last week was Black Panther through Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Basically, in the next few months, yeah. Okay, I'll say that again. So what we talked about last week was Marvel Phase 4, a few of the films, Black Widow, up until Doctor Strange, and that's only happening for the next few months. That's going to be an overstimulate, and let alone the other shows that are coming out as well. That's overstimulation of Marvel as far as we are concerned. And there's not a lot to get behind and to really sink your teeth into. As for what's gonna, it's basically throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what's gonna stick. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like we said, I think the one I'm excited for most is just the Spider-Man, just because we've mentioned last time about seeing Toby again.
Yeah, to see Toby.
I just want to see Toby and William Dafoe. But yeah.
Yeah. So to tie it all up, we're going to talk the rest of Marvel Phase 4 up until 2023 right now. So I'm sure there'll be more conversations as Feeling Grounded continues. But Thor, Love and Thunder. Oh, what a great title. I just feel so loved and just filled with nice pillows and everything like that. This is, I say that with the utmost sincerity, this is the dumbest title I have ever heard.
Yeah, it's awful.
Really. Thor Ragnarok, when it came out in 2017, 3 was fun. Thor 3 was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I couldn't help but feel that our title character was the butt of the jokes. And we can't rely on a hero who's the butt of the jokes, who is being mocked all this time. And, it's the same director coming in for this next one, for Thor, Love and Thunder. And we've heard time and time again from Taika Waititi, he doesn't care about the mythos. Right. And we can say a lot about having Natalie Portman as female Thor. I don't really know how much of that is canon in the comics, but where does this line up? Where does this line up with, and it feels almost as if Thor is propping up Natalie Portman's character, who was missing in the third one, right? Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything about this one yet, but that's the story. Is she's going to become a female Thor?
I think so. Yeah.
Have you heard about all the stuff that happened with He-Man, the remake of that?
Yeah, they did some type of bait and switch. They said that in the trailers, he's the main part, same with Skeletor, and then they killed the two of them off. Right? Is that right?
And then the strong chick comes up to the lady who's the one that's in charge. If they do it well, great, more power to them. But if they're gonna destroy what we love about Thor, if we destroy the past,
yeah. If they make him the butt of the jokes again in order to prop up other characters, that
prop up something that no one was asking for.
Sure.
That no one really wants to see. I don't know, man.
That has people worried legitimately. I can understand that.
I think so, definitely.
Now, to tie that into,
it's the same moving forward, right? The next two.
Yeah, in the next one, Black Panther 2, and this was This is a tough one because Chadwick Boseman died last year, and there was overwhelming praise for the first one. Nobody said anything bad about it for fear of being called. Yeah. But Chadwick Boseman is dead. May he rest in peace. Great actor. I'm really going to miss that portrayal. And it's only a wonder what's going to be taking place for this next one. I've heard rumors that Shuri, his sister, she's okay. I didn't really like her humor, but I don't think she can carry a movie. If it's something with Michael B. Jordan, who was the villain of the previous movie, I could see something with that, although he is dead, but I'm sure they can come up with some.
Bring him back, yeah.
Yeah.
Retcon it.
But and that opens up a can of worms with, it could be with the multiverse. No. I'm telling you right now, with the multiverse of madness, which happens before this, they're going to do some weird post-credit scene that he's going to come back and become Black Panther. Yep. I'm telling you right now, that's what they're going to do. And then you heard it here, folks. That is going to make people, while they'll probably initially praise it, just having investment in your characters is going to go out the window because everybody can just come back. Yep. I'm telling you right now, that is I will bet money on it.
Right.
Yep. That's what they're going to do. Yep. Just came up right now. Oh man, that makes me upset. That makes me upset. That makes me upset. Yeah. Love Michael B. Jordan, but the way that I know that they're going to bring him back, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just really not excited about this phase. I just feel like everything's going to just fall apart.
Yeah. Now the best movie of all time, according to critics, Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel came out in between the two biggest movies of all time, Infinity War and Endgame. As I have seen before, I believe Captain Marvel came out in March of 2019, and then Endgame came out of April. So 6-7 weeks prior to Endgame, the highest grossing movie of all time. Everybody was excited for it. Yeah, give me some thoughts, Josh. It's actually called The Marvels. I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called The Marvels. Yeah. Oh man, I don't like it. I don't like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I think it's some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no charm or likability to the actress. She's done some really good movies, like the movie Room. She won an Oscar for that, I believe. So I've never seen it personally, but all accolades to her. If she can do a really good role, maybe just superheroes aren't for her.
It's just weird because she was so stern and she just always had this stare and the face that that was weird, man.
And I think she is a good actress. And I think what's makes me question this is because I think they wanted her to be like Tony Stark, really surly and sarcastic like Tony Stark, because they knew they had it in their plans that he was going to die in Endgame. And she was going to be the new face of the MCU, but they realized that it just doesn't work with this actress.
Mm-hmm. Apparently I heard about that in Endgame. She was supposed to have a much greater bigger role, and after the kind of
they cut her back last minute.
They cut her back,
which
I'm glad they did. I would have been pissed.
Yeah, if she killed Thanos, but this movie grossed $1 billion. I will give it that. But you got to look at the reasons why. Why did it gross $1 billion? Where did it fall into? It fell between Infinity War, great ending in that movie, and it just made you wonder what was going to happen next. Then you have the very next movie that came out. You wanted to see what was happening next with Marvel. It didn't really give you too much as far as the next movie in the saga because it took place in the 90s. But with Endgame, all of our questions were answered. That's what everybody wanted to know. So that's my answer for why it grossed $1 billion. Just based on curiosity, something to do. And with there's some other thing, I can't really speak too much to this, but there was controversy with this movie, with reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think Rotten Tomatoes blocked negative opinions to get seats in theaters.
Right. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
The audience score is way less than like the actual like review. You know how they do have the two scores.
Yes.
But yeah, I think definitely. I think there was a lot of weirdness that kind of happened with this. Like they really wanted this to succeed.
Yeah.
And sure, it made them a hell of a lot of money, but I don't think it did them any favors.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the people that watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, which is why we're not seeing this character until the back half of this film's list.
That's true.
Because it just did not stick with people, I guess. Next on the list, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I have heard nothing about this, and
neither have I. And there's nothing like announcements wise.
Yeah, I guess it's early. So.
Guardians 1 was awesome. 2 was flawed but entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But brought nothing new in my opinion.
It's a great cast.
Yes,
they're going to do great things. So yeah. I'm excited about it.
Honestly, I think this will most likely bring a high note, like to basically the ending of this whole Phase 4. Right. Just based on their track record. We obviously had the James Gunn controversy, which just shows, Disney's canceling priorities. He said some pretty weird tweets about 10 years ago or so, and they're just like, we need him because he did Suicide Squad and we need him again. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's just all weird.
Yeah, but I genuinely think, it'll bring like a nice high note to things. But we shall see. Too early to tell. AntMan.
I love Chris Pratt. He can do no wrong in my eyes. So
yeah, but they overutilize that guy. Jurassic World, which are awful.
Yeah, they are. Apparently, he's going to be in a Mario movie or something.
There's a Mario movie coming out.
Yeah, they just announced it a couple days ago, and he is like Mario.
This conversation is over.
Which I love him, but like I don't know how that's gonna be.
Yeah. Blade. I was gonna say Ant-Man, but I skipped Blade. Blade is coming out.
Is this like Blade? Like
yeah, Blade. Like
Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, Wesley Snipes was in the 90s. Now they're doing the guy from I forget his name, but it's the guy from the Green Book. The Green Book.
I haven't seen it.
With Viggo Mortensen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is too early to tell. It could be great. It could be bad.
They're probably gonna ruin it because I love the first one, like the original Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I don't know. I mean,
and they probably still could use Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I don't know. Move on. Let's move on.
All right, Quantumania. Nothing special. I never saw these movies in theaters. Ant-Man and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. Nothing special to rein in. It's the other movies were dull and predictable. He's a background character in the second one. He was a background character in his own movie with the Wasp, and I feel like that's going to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with you a little bit. I think after rewatching the MCU, like the first time, like I skipped Ant-Man. I didn't really care about it. Mm-hmm. But then after watching it for the first time, I really like the humor in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. But yeah, I see what you mean. I love Paul Rudd. I think he's great.
Oh
he's
yeah.
Great actor. And but yeah, I understand what you mean because it's always like the ones that's like, okay, like I remember when they announced this, like the very first Ant-Man, everyone was like, what? Like, what is this? Like, why would they do this? But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, and he needs. I hate when they do this when they take the main character and then they put him on the back burner. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like they've done that so many times. Like I've come to watch like I'm like a Thor movie. I want to watch Thor. Like make it about them. But I feel that. I feel you.
But it's only a wonder what's going to happen with this story because if you take a look at Quantumania, you talk about the quantum realm, you talk about the multiverse. This whole bit that we've got going on with Phase 4 before we go into Fantastic Four, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that the bubble will eventually burst. We got a while, and that just makes me feel even more tired.
I know. Whew.
The thing that's going to be riding high or low for Fantastic Four is the casting and the writing, because every single Fantastic Four movie has been awful.
Oh, horrible.
And if anybody could do it, it's this crew, Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm.
But where their priorities have lied, who knows? Based on, these first couple movies that have come out, like in these last few months. So we'll see. Do I feel excited? Do I feel excited for it? I feel like some cautious optimism. That's the best way I can describe it. Because really, our favorite characters are dead. Nothing to make me truly excited. The shows, if we can get into that for a brief moment, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're preachy and lecturing, best way I could put it, about culture today, like we said before, with less emphasis on story, right? It's not popular to the people. The virus slowed momentum for anything that the MCU had before. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I really don't know what the future is going to hold for Marvel. So we'll see. I mean, honestly, I'm really not that excited about like any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously one seed isn't going to make that big of a difference, but I'm sure there's some people that agree with me. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
I think that there will be some good numbers for these box offices, particularly for Spider-Man, particularly for multiverse, Black Panther, probably, maybe Guardians, sure, but maybe Blade and Fantastic Four. But I feel the exhaustion has already set in, and I feel like we really won't see bad numbers until Phase 5, 6.
Okay. I like that prediction.
Yeah. But as far as my prediction goes about Black Panther 2, it still sticks. I still think that they're going to do some multiverse thing with their new Black Panther. Yep.
Yeah, probably will. All right, we'll see what happens. And I feel like the what if show is to like prepare us for this.
Yeah, good point.
The future is inevitable, but let's travel back in time.
So October 6th, 2006, one of my favorite movies, The Departed, by Martin Scorsese, is released. Now, Martin Scorsese has a tremendous track record, and he's actually bombarded the MCU. You got Goodfellas. You've got, of course, The Departed. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on The Departed. This is starring Leo DiCaprio. We got Mark Wahlberg. We got Alec Baldwin. Got Matt Damon.
This is one of those movies that I just watched on my own on a day off, like while I was like before we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a day off, Claire was at work, and I was home, and I was like, I'm watching this movie. I've heard for years that it was amazing. I knew that there was a twist in it, and I had no idea. I came in blind, and I was so amazed at how awesome this movie was.
Yep.
Like it's so.
You were probably angry with that twist too. I screamed at my.
Yeah, I definitely was. But I will say, what happens gets justified.
Yes, and then you see the rat at the very end, the Boston Capitol building, meaning that there is still more corruption going on, even in the highest of levels. It's great symbolism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
15 years, man, ago, this movie came out.
I love this movie, man. It was Jack Nicholson too, right? He was
how can I forget? Yeah.
It's like literally the best male actor. This is a movie we could like do a whole episode on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So we should do that in the future.
I like your ideas.
I want to watch. What's the one with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? The Heat.
Heat. Yep.
Heat.
Yep.
That's on my list too. I haven't seen that one.
I've watched half of it. mostly because it came off of Netflix. I fell asleep and then it was off the next day.
Mm.
So yeah.
So you fell asleep during it, huh? So maybe it's not
No,
that
no,
good.
it was great. I was very tired that day, and it was very enthralling.
There you go. Okay, good to know. I'll keep it on my list. Yeah, I love Martin Scorsese movies. Taxi Driver's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
And Scorsese, he made a cameo in that movie.
All right, so October 6th, 2020, Eddie Van Halen, arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time.
Yeah.
Dies of throat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
He loved those cigarettes, man. His style of playing, he introduced something called tapping, which is when which I mean, it's been done before, but he was the one that really popularized it, where you are playing on the neck and you're using a finger to hit frets and you kind of moving around.
Mm-hmm.
And it just creates this like supersonic, super fast style of playing that's like unbelievably impressive.
I can see how people on that 1978 Van Halen debut album, people thought, because it came out in the song Eruption, people thought it was like something from space. And it legitimately sounds like a space gun to me.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's fun to do. Yeah, I feel like Eruption is one of those songs that like it's like kind of a cliche, like everybody has to learn that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then everyone fails and then gives up. But yeah, so I will be honest and say Van Halen is not one of my favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
I really am not a huge fan of like the glam stuff.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate what he has done. And like whenever he played and did his solos, like I was always just drooling at the stuff
Humna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for him. I don't really like the band, but I have a lot of respect for him.
I find a lot more like the internal drama the most interesting part. I mean, there's something that is classic about Van Halen 1. I love that album. You have Women and Children first, Van Halen 2, Diver Down, sucks. It's just all covers for the most part. And then Mean Streets is a really great song. You of course have 1984, and then you have this. That's all David Lee Roth. Arguably one of. I mean, he's got an ego, but he's still fantastic. I saw Van Halen live like in 2015. I don't know if I told you that. They're pretty good.
I didn't know that. That's very cool.
David Lee Roth. He forgot the lyrics, and he's just like, I don't remember the lyrics. It was awesome. Sammy Hagar. Then they were a lot more songs about love instead of sex. Right. Which I actually really like the Sammy Hagar crew. And it's very interesting because obviously they had a bit of a falling out with David Lee Roth. They mostly blamed David Lee Roth, the fans anyway, because he's known to be outspoken. But then when they had some stint with Hagar and he left, they're like, well, maybe the Van Halen brothers aren't so innocent. Maybe. I actually think Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony are like two salt of the earth guys, because they did Michael Anthony, the bassist, dirty. Yeah. Sure. And then if we can just talk about real quick, Van Halen 3 with their infamous third singer, the guy from Extreme. Oh yeah. Yeah, his name was oh God, what was his name? Gary Sharon. That's right. They made him sound like Sammy Hagar, even though that's not what his vocal range is complimentary towards at all. And that album, Van Halen 3, blew. Just they kept changing the tempo. There were no hooks in and I was just watching some YouTube videos on the making of that album. Tour underperformed. Album was definitely the world will never be the same because the thing is we don't understand every single guitarist post 1978 was copying Eddie Van Halen up until 1991. All those bands like Rat, Autograph, Cinderella, Skid Row, Randy Rhoads even, but Randy Rhoads, he's a tier of his own. But the tapping thing, they copied him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely did. They definitely did. And yeah, so he he stylized this concept of the guitar. He brought like love into it again, because I feel like oftentimes the interest in the guitar kind of ebbs and flows
Mhm.
with whoever's kind of popular and all that. Since Van Halen got huge, and especially because of him,
Mhm.
it really blew up.
Yeah.
The concept of rock guitar and really intricate playing. So
Long hair was out and big hair was in.
yeah.
So what we want you all to do right now is subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast, like this video, share this video to any person that you think might enjoy this content. Also, follow us at Feeling Grounded Podcast on Instagram. That's at Feeling Grounded Podcast. Also, on Patreon, for $3 a month, you guys can enjoy content that Josh and I genuinely enjoy, love to put out there.
And guys, leave a question in the comments. Put some comments below the videos. We want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for us, type it down below. Okay?
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.